Hi guys, how are you doing? I am happy to have you joining me for another devotional. I know I missed 2 days of talking to you guys about the word of the Lord. But today's scripture is taken from First Corinthians 2 verse 9, and it says, "Eyes have not seen, nor ears heard, neither have it entered into the heart of man that which the Lord has prepared for those whom he loves." And I want to say to you that there are so many things that the Lord has prepared for his children. There are so many things that the Lord has established for us to achieve. There's so many things. Let me put the mic on here and I hope that you hear me still. There are so many things that the Lord has planned for the people who, love him and who he loves. Because a lot of time as we go through life, we tend to forget that there are plans that the Lord has for us. He said, before you were formed in your mother's womb, he knew you and he set you as a prophet unto a nation. And you can find that in Jeremiah 1, I think, verse 5, because there are plans. He also said in his word that I know the plans that I have towards you, said the Lord, plans to cause you to prosper. So every plan that the Lord has already established for your life is for you to prosper, it's for you to grow, it's for you to develop, it's for you to advance and become the best version of you that you could ever be. But we get so caught up with the worries of the world, worrying about our lives, what our lives will look like, what is the outcome of our decisions, what are our plans, where we are going to be a few years from now. We are so focused on whether or not we're going to achieve the things that we set out to do, but we forget what First Corinthians 2 verse 9 says. Eyes have not seen the things that the Lord has promised for you. You have not seen it yet. You can't even imagine it yet. Your mind is not at that place yet to recognize that there is greater things that the Lord has in store for you. There is so much that he has planned for you. There's so much that he has destined for you. And the only way that we're going to recognize what the Lord has planned for us, what it is that we're supposed to achieve, is if we lock into who God is if we tap into, that space where we hear of the Lord, where the Lord is able to speak to us, where the Lord is able to tell us some of the plans. And the Lord is not going to reveal all the plans for you, just in case you might, become too proudful, or is there such a word, or prideful, that you start operating in such a way that you make everybody know, say, oh, God have big plans for me. And so there is nothing that they can do. But sometimes the Lord has to allow us to work into those plans. And so he doesn't reveal everything right away. But he says, eyes have not seen, ears have not heard, neither has it entered into the heart of man. It means that it has not even resonated within our heart as yet to know what the Lord has in store for you. I want to remind somebody today that God have big plans for you. Plans that are bigger than you can imagine. Plans that are bigger than the ones that you have for yourself. Because he's a big, mighty, powerful God. He is the God of the heaven and the earth. He's the creator. And he established you upon this earth for a purpose. And the only way you're going to understand what it is that you're called to do is if you start tapping into who God is and understanding who he is in this season, he is in your life, and knowing that he has great plans for you. I want to remind you that the Lord has great plans for your life. Sometimes it might not seem that way because in life we go through different stages. We go through the variation of things, struggles at times, successes as well, and we just don't know what the next outcome might be of a particular situation or during a particular season. And sometimes we become frustrated. But I want to say to somebody out there, to a Christian out there, to an unsaved out there who feels as if life is not aligning in the way that it should. Your plans are not, being fulfilled in the way that you expect it to. That things are not operating the way that you intended for life to. I want to say to you, just in case you've forgotten, remember First Corinthians 2 verse 9 that says to you that you not see it yet, you haven't heard it yet, and it hasn't resonated in your heart as it. The plans that the Lord has for you because he loves you. everything, let me come a little closer, everything that you desire, God is able to give. Everything that you desire, the Lord is able to establish in your life. And I want you to trust Him. I want you to trust Him because He's God. And He's not man that He should lie. His scripture says it. So I want you to trust the God of our salvation, the God of our yesterday, the God of our today, the God of our tomorrow, our forever God. I want you to trust Him and believe that everything that He says, He will do. All right? So remember, the plans that God have for you, bigger than the plans that you have for yourself. Bigger than the plans that anybody else has for you. God's plan is greater. And so I want you to trust in God a little bit more until He fulfill His promise in you. All right? Thanks for joining me on another devotional. And I intend to ensure that you are guided daily on just even if it's one scripture that the Lord gives in His word. All right? Be blessed.